Well, here is the one to watch with a personal best, clear of the rest in this first heat. Ilona Mononen goes in the outside. There's Charlotte Knudsen.
From Germany.
Some loud support around the outside.
From Turkey,
Buda of Germany will wear leg number 6.
And from the United Kingdom, Emily Parker.
Emily Parker. Of course, one of the ones to watch as well. The British University's champion in the 2000m Steeplechase, setting a new championship record. Well, the water jump will certainly seem pretty inviting today. Of course, they won't go through it the first time round the track. They will get very close to that men's decathlon pole vault competition after we go round this first lap. So Emily Parker taking to the front, setting a personal best in Brussels in May. 15 on the British all-time list. We need something around sort of the 9:35 mark to go into the top 10. Some way outside of that at the moment. Right at the back, though, is Ilona Mononen, who doesn't comfortably clear as well that barrier they've just gone over.
Bit of jostling for position there. Mononen, don't know whether she got a shove or certainly she found clear space through an unorthodox manner. You can see the Finnish flags are out there. She was maybe an unexpected winner in 2021 at the European Under-20s, but since then she's really progressed. Obviously, that win at the European teams, but also breaking a fairly long-standing Finnish record that's been held since 2014 by Sandra Eriksson, and now 9:22.77 in Paris last summer. Emily Parker actually impressed over the 2000 chase at the British University's Championships, winning that for Loughborough, and others who've won there include Amy Pratt. And with Lizzie Bird retiring the other day, of course, a European and Commonwealth medalist, there's very much a look to the next generation in the UK, and I'm sure that will include Sarah Tate, who battled with Mononen in Madrid, but Parker hoping to get herself in the mix as well.
Yeah, it was interesting to see Mononen go to the back very quickly, but she's sort of learned her lesson, decided that she doesn't want to be in that real melee as they go over the barriers with everyone in front of her. So now tucked in second. That national record set in Paris last year. Also going in the flat 5000. And her focus, particularly building into the Olympic year, was on the steeplechase. The majority of her results came from last season. It's very composed. Just a tap maybe on the heel of Nadia Buda. Germany's wide on the outside, a really tall figure, now starting to move her way around. Also decided that she wants to stay out of trouble. 5 laps to go.
Well, the Germans have had a very strong tradition in this event, particularly on the female side over the last few years, but Geza Felicitas-Krause really moving the event on in Europe, a 4-time European medalist, 2-time champion. We've seen the likes of Olivia Gert look very impressive at these age group competitions as well. And you've got Buda and Ackerman in good spots at the moment. Karin Hinrichs to come in the second of these two heats.
It's the first 5, and then the next 5 fastest who will qualify for the final. So it looks to be around the 3:15 mark when they went through 1 kilometre. Seemed to be a little bit of disparity in the numbers that we saw pop up on the screen. But still, Emily Parker at the front. Despite what the graphic might suggest there. Inside a mile to go now. A very good job so far controlling this race. But Monanen glued to her back. Come in. One of the 2 Germans just moving around the outside. She won the German under-23 title at the start of July with a 10.04 clocking. Really high-quality German championships, as we spoke about a lot yesterday. Real good depth in talent at the under-23 level, and that really coming to the front with the 1-2-3 in the women's shot put.
Yeah, I'm sure it would have spread confidence around the team. 3:23 for the opening kilometre, about to get the second one, so they were around 10:10 pace there coming through. Sort of pace you might expect for a heat. It is normally fairly comfortable qualification, certainly for the better athletes here. Want to avoid any kind of danger or tripping or slipping like Monanen with that barge or whatever it was at the start of the race, just kind of caught towards the back of the pack by the camera there. But yeah, Parker this season, she's shown she's very comfortable front running. And then it's fascinating with Monanen, of course, when you see someone at the under-20s where they're a bit of an outsider, and suddenly then in that few years they make real progress to be a leading contender, and also they may have grown, they may look a bit different, they may have a more confident demeanour about them. So it's fascinating to see that change as you go through the age groups.
Of course, she's gained so much experience, hasn't she, over the course of the last couple of years since winning that title. Into 2 World Under-20 Championships, finalists in both, 5th in 3000 metres in Cali in 2022. Also doing the double that year, finishing 8th in the 1500 metres. Of course, as well, as we mentioned, taking that European Team Championships gold in Madrid. So 2 laps of the track to go. The lead hasn't deviated from Emily Parker through 2,000 metres at 6:46. Monanen just seeing some space on the inside as they went over the barrier. Now tucked in, Parker coming back really tight to the edge of the track on the inside. First 5 in each heat, qualifying automatically through to the final. We have a pack here of around 7 moving together as they come towards the water jump for a penultimate time. All clear it successfully. And now the pace is starting to pick up. And can Parker, having done all the hard work so far, match what Monanen will want to throw down in this final lap? You can see just the way she eases over the barrier and just starts to edge away without putting any effort in, Alex. It seems she looks so composed. Parker trying to keep her position behind Flosongle of France in 3rd, and then the 2 Germans, Ackerman and Buda. But Monanen just gliding away looking exactly as she did on the first lap. Makes it look so simple, and there will be a real battle behind. Parker still leading in the fight for the second automatic qualifying spot. And is it just closing the gap slightly? You do feel that Mononen is so comfortable here. We'll take a brief look over the shoulder. She knows they're rallying behind. Another look there. She has this sewn up. And with her being one of those who is competing, or aiming to complete an ambitious double, she takes another look. A real battle behind her, but there are 4 that are clear, and the 5 of them will come across the line almost together. A double thumbs up from Mononen. Job done. Parker across the line in third. Ensemble of France taking that second automatic qualifying spot. Buda and Ackermann, the 2 Germans coming through. As Mononen will want to go and get as much rest as possible. Well, she took a few looks over the shoulder. She wanted to ensure that she wasn't overexerting herself, but also that she was comfortable in that automatic qualifying space. And they all, well, 4 of them coming across the line simultaneously. First of our 2 women's 3000m steeplechase heats concluded.
So 10 minutes 12 will be the target time for those outside the top 5. Interesting, of course, that we do have time qualification, because over the last few years the tendency has been to remove that, removing the element of misfortune for those who aren't in the faster race, and it may not be as fast a race. Now on to this second heat of the women's 3000m steeplechase. Mentioned that just outside 10 minutes would be good enough to qualify for the final. Marta Serrano, certainly the athlete to pick out here. And closely matched on time with Mononen. Of course, it may not come down to time in a championship final. But Mononen obviously winning on the Spanish women's home soil at the European Team Championships. What about Serrano's pedigree? Well, 9:24.26 in Hengelo, a 2-second personal best last month. She was the bronze medalist a couple of years ago in Espoo in Finland. So a couple of seconds off Mononen on PBs, but 5 seconds faster on season's best, hence making it quite tight to call. Buda was in the first heat, his 3rd ranked coming into this. We've also got Ava O'Connor of Ireland, who was picked out there, who was a finalist in Espoo, where she finished 8th. And also a very impressive performance that year at the European Team Championships to help Ireland's promotion. Personal best came in Lahti in Finland, 9:45 at best. So it's once you start to get to 9:30 that you're closer to world class at senior level. Of course, we've seen a few European athletes close to that 9-minute mark. Ebba Kronholm of Sweden, one of those in great form. 3,000, 5,000 and steeplechase PBs this year for the Swede. And you can see there she's just on the shoulder of Greta Varga, who was the silver medalist 4 years ago at under 20 level. 9:50.63 at best. And really having to run wide there. It was the Portuguese athlete that just seemed to find her path a little bit blocked. That was Beatriz Rios. We're watching out to see where Portuguese medals might come from. They have won quite a few in the past in the distance events. Isaac Nader and Saloma Afonso have both come through these competitions, and now they really are at their best at senior level. So Kronholm just marginally ahead the moment. Of course, she would have seen Jonathan Grant get the silver medal in the men's 10,000 last night, the first track final that we had on the opening night, in conditions slightly cooler than this. Hadn't dropped significantly. A little less than ideal for steeplechasing. Bontiotti now joins Kronholm at the front, but they are out into lane 3. Caroline Hinrichs there of Germany, first sight of her, an athlete who was second at the German Under-23 Championships, a best of 9:53.32.
Serrano tucked in a good position. There's the French woman. Just missing her footing on the water jump and making more than a splash than she would have liked to. Kronholm leading the way. Serrano just sat on the shoulder. She's in 4th.
Let's have another look here. So, it was the French athletes.
Away.
Yeah, didn't quite make the water jump, but did get up and out. And is still just a little off this leading group, so has done well to recover to this point. The opening kilometre there, 3:26, so 3 seconds off what we saw in that initial heat. And that was matched by an identical second kilometre to 6:46, and then Mononen up the pace. So really, really interesting to see what happens in the second half here. Serrano very much happy to stay in the middle of the pack. She knows she just needs to be inside the top 5 here, but maybe easier said than done. At target time, just looking back at it, yeah, 10:11.92 for Petra Santos, who was 10th in the first heat. Shahin Kalimajani, Knudsen and Kravchinska were the other athletes who were outside the top 5. That 9:57 clocking for Mononen.
Over O'Connor now, wanting to push the pace on just a little bit onto the shoulder of Ebba Kronholm. US-based athlete now over O'Connor, studying in America. National champion at under-23 level back in 2023. But in good form. So setting that personal best in Lahti in Finland. Midway through last month.
Well, Ireland did get a silver medal in this event in 2019 through Elish Flanagan and Yevler. And have had good pedigree in the steeplechase over the years. So there will be some hopes carried by O'Connor, as indeed by the likes of Nick Griggs. It was a shame to see DNS for Agbobo in the 100 semis, putting him out of the competition. Ebba Kronholm out front now, stretching that lead. Serrano very happy to sit back, though.
Well, she's sitting back, but she's always been just that touch out wide to make sure that she had the space when she comes up to the barriers. Clever racing, not to get stuck on the inside. Just get penned in. We saw Mononen in that tricky position on the first lap, and then making sure that she didn't find herself in any danger after that. And you feel that Solano just biding her time. Now she starts to move around the outside, and well, will this attack continue after the water jump? Or is she just giving herself some space and time to clear it? 2 laps to go.
So 6:48 on the clock through 2,000 meters. So a couple of seconds off, but making up the ground a little bit between 1 and 2K. The thing is, though, the final kilometre in the first heat was 3:11. Just keeping an eye out on those outside the top 5 at the moment. It's going to feel like a long last couple of laps for those struggling to hold on to this lead group.
6 in this lead pack. The gap is being bridged, though. Rouet, who had that fall on the first few times around the water jump, within the top 6. Be quite the performance if she can brush that off and move her way into the top 5. It's the top 5 qualifying automatically through to the final, and then the next 5 best time qualifiers from across the 2 heats. Another split in this pack. I'll hear the bell as they come towards the line down the home straight for the penultimate time.
Well, Spain have won European under-23 women's medals in the 5,000, the 10,000. Never 3,000-meter steeplechase in a career. It's a little surprising that, but Serrano now starts to be on the shoulder of Kronholm and just beginning to move past there. Varga, who was at the back of this lead group, making an important move here. European under-20 medalist. Kronholm on the inside. It's really hot conditions here in Bergen. Not too much trouble for the Spanish woman Serrano to this point, though. 9:24 at best. O'Connor remaining alongside the leaders for much of this race. Kronholm switches to the outside for the water jump. Varga is still there. These 4 women, you feel, have done most of the hard work. Just this final bit. And through this last 100, we're again having an issue with that water jump, but not as much danger as last time. So Serrano, O'Connor just stuttering before that barrier, and then has the speed through the hurdle, but it's the Greek athlete that fell there. Bontiotti at the final hurdle. That could put her out of the final. Serrano, O'Connor, Varga and Kronholm crossing the line ahead of Bayir of Turkey, who was one of the beneficiaries at the end of that race and is inside the top 5. 10:02 that winning time, so you have to be really within 8.5 seconds of Serrano in order to make it through. We'll tally that up in just a moment.
A dramatic end to the second of our women's steeplechase heats. Let's take a look back at that final barrier. You always hate to see athletes fall at that point after doing so much work to get in that position, feeling assured of a top 5, or at least being able to challenge for a top 5 finish. Bayir did exactly what she needed to do, which was just find herself in a good position. She was there and thereabouts all the way through the race, and then able just to capitalise at the misfortune of another athlete. Composed, controlled performance from Solano.
Well, I make it that Pelinsu Sahin, 9:58, Vasiliki Kamujani, 9:59, 2 athletes, Knudsen Kravchinska on 10:03, and then they're all from the first heat. And in this second one, it looks Tanya Bouye, who had that fall early on that we're just seeing a replay of, will make it through to the final. That's how things appear at the moment. Bontiotti, unfortunately, just 1 position outside it. Really unfortunate for her. There's the three of them, you see. So Bahia just gets in the automatic spots, and the Frenchwoman Bouet just sneaks in as a non-automatic qualifier, but Bontiotti, unfortunately, doesn't look like she can make the final. It's certainly an eventful race. And this then confirms the athletes who have qualified entre sangles don't often see a personal best in a heat like this.
So time to meet the athletes for the 3000m steeplechase final. Just being lined up. Real treat of distance and middle distance races this evening. Still women's 800m final to come, and that proves to be a very special race indeed. So we'll meet some of the key contenders. Starting with Marta Solano, the European under-23 bronze medalist from 2023. She was 5th at the World Under-20s in 2022. Wearing the blue bib, indicating that she's the European under-23 lead this year. There's Charlotte Knudsen.
From Germany,
Adia Buda of Germany. Ranked 23rd in Europe, personal best set this season, still only 19. Fastest qualifier, Ilona Mononen. Keep your eyes on her, champion in the 3000 metres. As a European under-20 in 2021, Team Championships winner this year as well, Mononen. Ava O'Connor on the inside to start with for Ireland. More than capable of doing something in this race, and we'll have her sights set on the podium. So underway in the final of the women's 3000m steeplechase. Krasinska takes to the front. Just tucked in behind. Triangle in there as well. Has good pace, the French woman. The National University Championships bronze medalist in 2023 in France, over 1500 metres. So they'll approach the first barrier. Solano wanting that clean run up to the barriers. And you can understand why it's a little bit messy in some of the heats for both the men and the women. Solano sat in second, Mononen in third. Still moving as one big pack, Ackerman trying to stay out of trouble, move around the outside, as is Emily Parker of Great Britain. British University's indoor champion over 3000 metres. Just swinging out wide as they come up to this barrier in the home straight. There'll be 6 laps to go when they hit the start-finish line. Krasinska still leading the way in that red and white of Poland. And biding her time. Still a very long way to go in this race. Turkey. Personal best form this season. A lot of this field are. only three who haven't set personal bests this season. Kosinska is one of them. Not too far away from it, though. That being said. And now, turn of pace. And Marta Solano decides to take this one on. Bronze medalist in this age category in 2023, coming in as the highest ranked athlete at European level. Under 23s this season.
So 3:15 through the opening kilometre. Of course, therefore on 9:45 pace. Should still be pretty strong, but the two athletes we expected to feature at the sharp end of this one, Serrano and Mononen, are right there, and neither nation, Spain or Finland, has won this title before, perhaps surprisingly. Germany took it a couple of years ago with Olivia Gurt, and they've got Buda in third place, and Turkey have won it twice with Mingir in 2011 and Tukba Guvens in 2015. They do have quite a strong steeple tradition. You can see they're in 4th and 5th at the moment.
Mononen glued to the heels of Marta Solano. Dear Buda. Letting any gaps open as the pace increases lap on lap. Since Serrano took the lead. Just easing the pace up, 4 laps to go. And flooding over, we now have a group of 6 who have broken away. Parker of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. Trying to move our way through this pack. Sat in 5th. Serrano really stretching this field out. And Mononen, well, just over the shoulder, she looks so relaxed, doesn't she? Quite happy to let Solano do all the hard work here. Coming around the bottom bend, approaching the water jump, single file. Train of Turkey. Onto the back of Buda, and it's these 4 who are breaking away. Parker can't stick with the pace for now. We've also falling off the back is Sila Bayer of Turkey. So 4 trying to move away from Emily Parker, a Loughborough University student. So it was 3:15 through the first kilometre. Oh, they sit at the second. Serrano. Steely look of focus on her face. Something to work to push the pace, and Mononen really capitalising. Tucked in behind. Now, just on the inside. Buda maybe moving around. Jostling to see who would take where on the water jump. Through 2 kilometres in 6:26.92.
Go on, Em.
So an increase of pace. 3:11 that last kilometre. Well, no surprise, because it is so evident that the work that Marta Solano is doing is paying off. Looking at now around a 9:39 pace, and there's only so many athletes in this field who can really try and stick with that. A lot of the personal bests well below that, more around the 9:40, 44, 45 mark. And evident with the split of this field. Only 3 able to stick with the pace of Marta Solano. Bronze at the team championships. Of course, we've already mentioned that under-23 championships bronze from 2 years ago. How she'd love to upgrade the colour. Can she do it off the back of doing so much hard work? We have seen athletes really been made to pay because of the warm conditions, putting a huge amount of effort in. So they'll swing into the home straight now. And the lap counter ticks down to 1. 4 athletes, 3 medals. How does this end? Serrano has done all the hard work, and it looks like Shine of Turkey was just struggling over that last barrier in the home straight, but is rallying now around the side of Buda. What does Serrano have left after doing all the hard work, setting the pace? The German starting to rally. Mononen in there as well. She hasn't made her move yet. When will she pounce? She has it in her comfortably to do so. Under-20 champion in the 3000 meters flat in 2021. A real focus on the steeplechase last season, building into the Olympic Games. That recent superb performance at the European Team Championships, and now they've dropped the athlete from Turkey who was struggling. Shine, she's out of the medal picture here. What will the order be? Mononen is going to get caught again by Serrano, who had something saved after doing the work. They're neck and neck. Serrano just ahead. They clear the barrier together. Mononen back in front. The Finn finishing fast through gritted teeth, and she knows that she will get there. Such clever racing. And she takes the gold here in Bergen. Well, she had her tactics down to a point. Marta Serrano thought that she could come around the outside. She didn't have it in her in the end. All the hard work, she'd done it herself to have the medal, the gold medal that she wanted, snatched away from her in the closing straight. Excellent example of championship racing from Ilona Mononen. Another gold medal, another title at a European Age Group Championships. Marta Serrano was leading coming into this competition. She had the confidence to take on all the hard work, all the running. Nadia Buda was able to stick with the pace and takes a bronze medal for Germany. Well, they are flying in the medal table. Personal best for Pelinsu Shine and Emily Parker as well. Varga with a season's best. Well, let's look back through this last 75 meters, and the smile there on Mononen's face, where it tells a story that she knew she had this in the bag, Alex.
Well, Mononen, it was a somewhat unexpected victory at under-20 level, but a fantastic development over the last couple of years, breaking her national record, 9:22. I mean, this is still her 4th fastest time ever, and interestingly, 4 of her top 5 times have come at major championships. I include this one in that. And then twice at the Europeans, her best times, and also at the Olympic Games. So clearly a big performer when it matters. And shaping up to be a good end to these championships for Finland. Saga Vaninen leading the way, of course, in the women's heptathlon. And Al-Asadi, a big contender in the pole vault tonight. And, of course, those 2 sisters in the women's javelin. There was a fall there for the Greek athlete, Kamila Alimojani there, after the water jump.
So confirmation on your screen of the times and results. Of course, remember, you can get all the comprehensive results on the European Athletics website as well, and make sure you check out all the behind